My boyfriend's professor is way too friendly, and now I'm seriously suspicious.
Maybe he's just got really good grades, man.
Let's see. So OP says, do I, 28 female, need to worry about my boyfriend's friendship with his professor, 25 female? My boyfriend, 24 male, became friends with his former professor, 25 female, sometime last year. I, 28 female, interesting, don't know what to make of it.
I think you should be suspicious.
They seem to be friendly, and they talk consistently every week. And from what he tells me, it's usually very surface level. By the way, this comes from Cute Classic 2954. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So sometime last year, after the course ended, my boyfriend, his professor, and some of his male classmates went somewhere to eat together.
Okay, yeah, totally. People do that all the time.
People get meals with their professors after.
People do that all the time. Meals with their professors who are only 1 year older than them and also a woman.
Okay,
and they're a guy.
I would say it's completely normal. Like, I had a street art professor in Australia, and we would go and like hang out after class. And he was one of those cool young professors. Sure, but there was like women there as well.
Yeah, but were you like?
I mean, he was a piece of meat. Don't get me wrong, but
were you like?
I think.
Were you down?
I would love to know from chat. I know it can seem a little sus, but Dakota's more on the side of already sus. I'm like, not sus yet. Not sus yet.
It's just also that comment of like, he tells me that when they talk, it's pretty surface level. It's like, yeah, your boyfriend's not going to be like, I'm falling in love with this other woman while I'm dating you.
Yet.
Like,
well, my boyfriend brought up that he was going to be attending an event, a plastic modeling show, and his professor showed interest and invited herself to the event and asked if she could stay at his Airbnb with his friends. My boyfriend and his friends were all okay with it. I unfortunately couldn't attend the event, but from what my boyfriend told me, he and a few of his friends met up at the Airbnb. That same day, his professor came to my boyfriend's Airbnb and tagged a few of her girlfriends along. I believe they all stayed in the same place. Sus or not? Sus or not?
Okay. Study session. Study session.
Study session. It's a big study session. Kim Fine says it's normal if y'all want to smash. Slidey Toe says it's sus because they're so close in age. I feel like when you're closer age to your professors, you should be even more business only.
Yeah, there really does need to be like the separation of church and state here.
Yeah.
Like,
They're about that business. Big business.
The D business. The business of giving Ds.
They got a D in business.
Well, the next day, they went to the event, went to the bar afterwards, and got drinks. A lot of them, except my boyfriend, got pretty wasted, and my boyfriend took the liberty of being the designated driver for his professor and her friends. His professor won some model kit from the event, even in her wasted state, and asked my boyfriend if he could stay up with her to work on the kit.
Yeah, so plastic modeling convention is definitely like it's like mini figures, like little figurines that you put together. And
I
if
thought
they're
it was
both
like
into
a model with plastic surgery.
just plastic.
The plastics are modeling again.
3D printed model, like yeah, she wants him.
Yep.
She wants him so bad.
Yep. This was planned.
I would just like to say that I've had a couple dates where I'm like, oh, let's build some Legos together.
This is different.
The Legos were never built. I actually still have the base of the Statue of Liberty from that date that was never built.
Dang.
I feel like I should probably dismantle it.
Yeah.
You're gonna dismantle it?
I don't know, or build it up. It's so long. It's such a big.
You gotta.
I don't know why we
undo
even
it.
thought we could manage finishing the Statue of Liberty.
See,
It's
I
a
was
big,
opposite. I got
big
2
thing.
Lego sets and built both of them and didn't realize, oh, maybe this wasn't the vibe.
Yeah.
She stopped building on the second one. She was like, okay.
Riley's just.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's on the bed.
Yeah.
Riley, come over.
It's been 3 hours, Riley. I know.
Riley's like, I'm pricked up right now. You don't understand. Well, from what my boyfriend tells me, nothing else happened that night. They just erected a model. After the event, everyone from that group created a group chat, and they continued to plan and talk about future events together. Since then, my boyfriend and his friends have met up with his professor and got to meet his professor's fiance at an anime convention. Does the fiance change anything?
No. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. Once you are engaged, there's no way you can cheat on anybody. That's
true.
my bad.
It's
I forgot
true.
about that.
Never, ever happened. Well, and it sounded like they all got along well. Also, where's your girlfriend in all this? Why isn't she getting
Like,
invites
busy,
to any of
I
this?
think.
Is she busy?
She
She's
was
busy all
she
the
had
time?
an invite. I think she was just busy.
His professor continues to express interest in other events, and it sounds like she may be attending another event with my boyfriend and his friends in the future. I trust my boyfriend. I don't know. The Reddit post doesn't scream trust, and don't think he is hiding anything from me.
I kind of disagree.
What you don't?
I think this is more about trying to suss out the intentions of
Of
the
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 professor?
professor, yeah.
rather than her being like, I don't trust my
Oh.
boyfriend.
Oh,
Like,
that could be
really,
true.
I do, because I don't think there's any way you let this happen if you don't trust your boyfriend.
Because if you didn't trust the boyfriend, we probably would have got a mention of he's not showing me his text. Everything seems pretty transparent on his end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably just like do I really need to step in here and be like, you can't hang out with her because she wants you desperately?
But isn't that like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. Let me know if you guys think that OP trusts
I just
their
haven't
boyfriend.
Smell anything yet of non-trusting.
Of the boyfriend?
Yeah. Have you?
I mean, I feel like getting into these situations that are making OP uncomfortable
Okay.
could, like, I feel like it's just, I feel like there hasn't been, like, OP is obviously uncomfortable.
There's a lot of other people here.
Yes.
It's not just him
It
and
is
the
true.
professor. That
But
would
was
be a
it
different
just
story.
him and the professor and the model late at night?
Did
the
they
three
build
of them
it
together?
Wait, did they build
They
that
built
together?
it together.
Well, as we all know, it's a good sign that they built the model, because if the model was
That's
unfinished,
true. Yeah.
that would be more
that
of a
would
sign.
be a red flag.
Yeah.
So I trust my boyfriend and don't think he is hiding anything from me. Honestly speaking, I think it's hard for me to understand their friendship as she is his professor. I've had a conversation with him on this, and he's let me know that I have nothing to worry about. I would like to hear others' opinions and see what y'all think of this friendship. Is this something I need to be concerned about, or is it really nothing? And if you're new here, there are multiple parts to this story, so make sure to follow us on the iHeartRadio app or Apple Podcasts. Okay, we got more to this story. Last we left off. Okay, so edit. The professor was my boyfriend's former professor. She is classified as an adjunct faculty and works as an accountant as her full-time job, which explains why she is a young professor. My boyfriend has not graduated college yet and is still a student at his university. And some relevant comments. You should go to one of the events with him. I do struggle with social anxiety, so it makes me uncomfortable to be sharing a space with a lot of people. I am hoping to go to the next event, though, since it's local. Her relationships with the students is grossly unprofessional. I'm totally with you. I am also quite confused of her choice of friends. I'm not sure why, of all places, that she chooses to share an Airbnb with her former student and to be wasted with them. She is classified as an adjunct faculty, so she is a professor, but is part-time. She works full-time as an accountant. The whole situation feels weird to me.
Well, I mean, I feel like you just explained exactly why she's doing that right there. She's adjunct faculty. She's not a full-time professor. It's like something she's like doing is done on the side.
Yeah.
She's 25. Like,
I think it's fine for I think
makes
it's
sense.
fine for a 25, 24-year-old to hang out with other 24-year-olds.
I think though, if she was like a full-time professor and it was like her whole deal, like that's like she's
And it's
looking
not
for that tenure, that would be wildly inappropriate.
and
to go.
it would be inappropriate if they were still like in that like student-teacher relationship.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
seems like no longer, Miss Kitty Cat says, if she were no longer his teacher and doesn't have any influence on his grades, I feel like it would be a lot different. I think she doesn't. I think
I think that's the case.
I think that's the
right now.
case.
Yeah.
But commenter says, you say his professor, but what is their specific academic connection? She taught him once years ago and now they're roughly equals and friends? Or is she his primary support for a PhD or what? OP, the first option. She taught him last year and now they are friends. He is no longer on a course with her. I totally understand how it's possible for students and their professors to be friendly, but I've never heard or seen of a friendship where you consistently talk and hang out together so casually. So she no longer is his professor. They are two adults of the same age and power level. Kind of gives me the same vibes like if a student graduated high school and is friends with their young teacher. Obviously not the same thing, but a
No.
student-teacher relationship is there. I think as a teacher, you should still uphold that level of professionalism and mentorship, even if you are no longer the student's teacher. I also want to note that they are technically not equals since they're both in relationships. She can't be acting however she wants with former students.
I disagree with that parallel to high school, because that would be, you're talking about the equivalent of like a senior in high school teaching a junior in high school, and then like they move on, and it's like it's not ever gonna happen. That's not how that works. So
Maybe it's
it's
more
just-
like a freshman in college, like being a teaching aide for a class of seniors in high school,
I don't even.
and then being friends with them after they graduate high school, which I think would be normal. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm often wrong.
My head's going more to like a work context. It's like maybe like your boss, or it's like someone who used to be your boss and you worked together and you reported to them. Now you don't maybe work there, but y'all are still hanging out or still whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all are running, share a hobby or share interests. And that's also not necessarily wrong. I
don't think there's anything. Miss Kitty Cat says, well, the professor can technically do whatever she wants, but this makes a big difference that she does not have influence over his grade.
Yeah,
Is a
that's
cop?
true. Miss Kitty Cat's a cop.
Let's go.
So that's the law.
That's the law here. Okay, story time law. But that's just part one. We got another part for you.
Oh, boy.
So let's dive in. Okay, so last we left off in part one, OP was suspicious that her boyfriend and his ex-professor were getting a little too close. His professor even showed up at the Airbnb he was staying at, and they hung out way too often for OP's liking. OP says she trusts her boyfriend, but just doesn't understand why he wants to hang out with his professor. Are they cheating or just a little too friendly? We'll find out in part two.
Oh, boy.
So, update 1 month and 1 week later.
Okay. Plenty of time for developments to happen.
Oh, yeah. My boyfriend and I had a more of a heart-to-heart talk regarding his teacher, and he recognizes that it crossed some of my boundaries.
Okay.
Win.
Good.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's how this works. Look at that, open and honest communication.
Hopefully it wasn't the cheating boundary, but
no, that's
yeah. I recognize when I slept with her that it crossed some of your boundaries. Hopefully it's a little less than that. He believes that she may be behaving the way she does because when she hangs out with her fiance's friends, she gets bored with them and may possibly be seeking attention from other people. So maybe she just like clicks with this friend group a little bit more and
Could
is.
be.
Several weeks later, my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor regarding their friendship and told her how I didn't feel comfortable with their friendship and how he thinks they should keep communication at a minimum. This is someone else from the college. She brought up how she understands because her fiance also had an issue with how she chose to share an Airbnb with my boyfriend. Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, this.
Oh, this is the college instructor.
That was no wait. I think this is.
Wait, I'm gonna read that again.
This is OP's boyfriend saying like, "Hey, I think we need to reevaluate how we're moving here."
Let me reread this. So several weeks later, my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor, the college professor that in question.
So it is current.
Yes, regarding their friendship. No. His past college instructor. I don't think it's current.
His college instructor regarding their friendship.
I think it's like OP's just kind of calling this ex-professor his college professor, even though it's an ex-college professor. So my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor regarding their friendship and told her how I, OP, didn't feel comfortable with their friendship and how he thinks they should keep communication at a minimum. So boyfriend is putting a boundary between his ex-professor and him. She brought up how she understands because her fiance also had an issue with how she chose to share an Airbnb with my boyfriend. So the fiance is unhappy with this whole situation too.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions to my boyfriend that she sees him as a brother, and that's why she feels really comfortable with him, but that she will try to respect my boyfriend's wishes of keeping conversations at a minimum.
Step brother.
I mean,
no one has
yeah,
ever used the line, he's like a brother to me.
I think this is now, you've made your decision. You said, hey, I had a hard time with my girlfriend. She's not comfy, so that makes me uncomfy. So we're going to have to change things.
It seems like she took it well.
Yeah, I agree. I still think there's like a little wiggle room in here there where she's trying to be like, I mean, yeah, my fiance was upset too, so no big deal. Like, I get it. But it's like, you're my brother.
Like, we have
you're
so
a brother
much
to me.
in common, like that are like both our significant others are.
Yeah.
We should like talk about it.
Crazy how
Over
people
a
would
model.
like misunderstand that because like no one gets us.
No one gets it. Just
Yeah.
we get each other though. We get each other.
I'm not buying it though.
What?
Don't worry about him. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah, I know. I don't buy that at all.
I do not buy that.
No,
I do not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're boinking.
No,
to be
of
clear.
course. I don't think they've done anything like that. I think,
But I do think that there are things. There's things.
I think she wants to, and he was like not wanting to,
Yeah.
and that's the vibe.
Well, even after the talk, she continues to still message my boyfriend weekly on random life updates. And because she's also part of my boyfriend's chat in Discord, one of his friends invited her to attend another plastic modeling show. It occurred recently, and dinner. Since she accepted the invitations, I chose to attend as well so that I could personally meet her. So, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Cat fight.
Because I mean, look, like there's situations where it's like this kind of stuff can happen, and if y'all run in the same circles, it's not like you can just like completely cut each other out of like each other's lives.
Yeah.
But you have to move forward with the boundary in place, and
which I think I think they can still hang out in the same circles and and have the boundary.
You can be on opposite sides of a room with someone.
But I think it's going to be really telling how the girlfriend and the professor interact.
Yeah.
Like, is the professor going to be cold? I think if the professor's cold, then that's an indicator that the professor was trying to do something.
She's going to be like a cold Jell-O salad, man.
Yeah.
She's going to be
cold Jell-O salad. So the dinner occurred first, and it was very uncomfortable because she practically ignored me the entire night. Woo, woo, woo. Kitty Cat, arrest this woman right now.
Miss Kitty Cat, get her.
Get her.
Get that woman out of here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's a red flag.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know right there.
When she joined at the table, she greeted my boyfriend, but didn't say anything to me. Even my boyfriend noticed and got annoyed, but then introduced us. She got increasingly wasted throughout the night and was saying random stuff about my boyfriend to his friends, like he could have been the best student in my class, but it's because he missed some assignments. And boyfriend's name gave me a 5-star review on Rate My Professor. She ended up not going to the show, but my boyfriend had a chat with his guys, and they told him that they want to respect my feelings too and make it a guys' night next time.
Yeah, I think now we move forward with the knowledge that this is not an even dynamic.
It just feels a little red flaggy.
She wants you, bro.
I would like to hear others' opinions and see if you also think she is acting suspicious.
Yes. Of course.
I mean, we had a hypothesis, right? Before we even read that part. If she was going to be cold, that's an indicator that she's in, and she was cold.
As cold as the cold wind blows.
As Jell-O pudding.
Just as cold as some of that gross Jell-O salad with the carrots and the celery in it. Just
what is that?
Gross, solid.
There's with carrots and celery.
Yeah, that's Jell-O salad.
Ugh.
It's bad.
Ugh.
It's a horrific invention of the early 50s. Bad.
Gross.
Yes, red light on Jell-O salad.
But yeah, no, I think it's a little suspicious. So we got some relevant comments. She wants to have spicy sleep with your boyfriend. She's crossing major boundaries. Has he stopped talking with her? I wouldn't be surprised if that is her intention because there's definitely some shady people out there. I agree. She's crossing some professional and personal boundaries. This is what OP is saying. And I think it's quite unusual behavior for any teacher to act like that. Yes, he has stopped communicating with her. She was consistently messaging him until last week. So hopefully she got the memo. And OP comments on the original post saying, clarifying what she meant by not equals. Hey there, I'll try best to clarify and elaborate more on what I'm trying to say. I understand that some may argue that because she's no longer his teacher and also them both being the same age means it's fair game to have this dynamic. But at the end of the day, they're both in relationships and have to consider the personal boundaries that come with that. That is completely true.
No, I would not say it's fair game for them to have this dynamic. I think it's fair game for them to have a dynamic.
Yeah,
but
to have
clearly,
some kind of friendship.
This dynamic involves one of them wanting to cheat on their fiance and hook up with the other. Like,
yeah, a little
and
sus.
I don't think it's her boyfriend. It's just the professor. It really reads as just
that's
the
what
professor.
And maybe like a little bit more of a clueless boyfriend that's like not setting.
I don't even think clueless. It's like he's made steps to do it. Like,
yeah,
they had that heart to heart, and he was like, "I see you," and then immediately was like, "We got to change this."
But it was only after OP kind of stepped in. So, but I do agree that he's making moves. So their overall dynamic is not fair to her fiance or myself because she is interacting with my boyfriend as if he is single and she is single and not a current student at the institution. There are still personal and professional lines that exist in this friendship, and she's crossed them regardless. I hope that makes sense. And the hobby, questions about the hobby.
It's Warhammer.
It's a niche hobby, and I didn't know much about the world until I met him. For further context, my boyfriend and his friends like to build and paint Gundams. They are similar to Transformers. And we got an editor's note.
The nerd in me is really mad about that last comment because they're nothing like Transformers. Just visually, maybe they both look like robots.
So a few days ago, what?
Oh my God. Yes. Dude, this is wild.
Okay. All right. So a few days ago, a throwaway account reached out to me via DM to share her side of the story.
No way. But you cannot listen.
Oh my God, we're gonna get the professor's
side.
Yes.
You can't trust that.
Okay, storytime Christmas.
Oh Lord. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what she has to say.
I can look at it and I can see all the sub-niche subreddits she follows. I can cross-post this. I can see.
Oh my God. Here is her DM. Hi, Lucia Rose. You made a Best of Redditor update post about a saga related to me. It was a professor trying to befriend my boyfriend one. I ended up finding it basically 2 hours after it was posted. It's quite jarring to find a post about yourself. I showed a mutual friend, Maria, at the time, and we discussed it since she was also part of every major in-person interaction as well. Someone ended up identifying me from the post, and so me and Maria discussed making a follow-up so that anyone who is able to do so in the future can be redirected to my side without us having to rehash it again. Okay, you may view it here. I understand that all her viewpoints are still valid, but I wanted to add context I thought would be relevant to how everything is portrayed. I was offended that she kept characterizing me as wasted and stated I was seeking attention. We've got one part left.
What a cliffhanger.
But yeah, we got one part left.
It's really long.
Okay.
We have read stories where it's like, I'd love to see what she has to say, because a lot of times there's times where someone will reach out to someone and be like, yeah, and like we hooked up and kissed and we love each other, trying to blow up someone's relationship so that they become single and then they become available. Like, I don't know if that's what's going to happen right here. It doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen, which is really intriguing.
I feel like she's trying to underplay everything. You know, I feel like, she was identified. I wonder if her job at risk.
How did you find that after 2 hours of it being posted?
She's a Redditor. She's a Redditor.
How do you find that
she's
2 hours of being posted?
She's a little nerd girl. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I feel like things can go to the top, like to the front page pretty quickly, you know?
I suppose. It's not like she's like stalking her Reddit or anything.
I used to browse Reddit like very frequently, and I remember one of John and I's videos got to the front page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, and it was like only a couple hours after it was posted, and so I feel like it happens.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
If it was front page post, I suppose so. But what is she gonna like rationalize here? That it's like, there shouldn't be anything left to say. That's why I'm so confused. He set this boundary. He's like, we gotta talk less. We got to be more just like,
I think,
chill. Like,
I feel like she's like, no, I didn't get wasted. I wasn't trying to like do anything with your boyfriend. In fact, I don't even like that guy that much. Like, I think she's going to downplay to save her job.
Okay. But a part of me would just be like, if that's how you feel, like you just go, that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you go plead the fifth. You go, what, a random Reddit story?
Yeah, that's not me.
Oh, that's not me. Oh, but you did that. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I the only person on Earth who could have done that?
Yeah, there's like
so
a billion
that has
people.
To be me?
There's a billion people on Earth.
Yeah, so what are we talking about?
We got one last part. So this is the professor's side.
Ay.
Why am I, 25 female, always portrayed as wasted? Maria, 25 female, was wasted. Editors note, since there has been some confusion, Maria and Linda are professors' friends. Maria is the one who can corroborate everything. I, 25 female, am the aforementioned professor in the Best of Redditor post about me related to post in the subreddit. I decided to post a response after this event was brought up again with a mutual Maria, 25 female. We're both hanging out as I type this.
And I think, okay, maybe the reason she is replying to this like this is because, again, she's not really a professor. Her full-time job is an accountant. So she I don't even know if it's like I might be losing my job. Like, you're not,
Maybe
you're adjunct, you're a full-time something else.
She's just in it for the tea. She and I have both hung out with boyfriend Bob in group settings and think there are definitely two sides to the story. My main gripe is being portrayed as a wasted man stealer. Below is the original post I found while browsing day one. Also, someone did find me after reading this post due to how specific it is. I'm responding paragraph by paragraph, so you do not need to read the original post. Feel free to. So, I was his instructor for one class/semester that boyfriend Bob attended. I have no say or sway at the school and have not taught since then. I taught a class related to my profession. I did not get to know Bob personally until after the class was over. On the last day, he expressed that I was a great instructor and gave me a miniature he built as a show of gratitude. I also made miniatures, a different type though, and was intrigued that someone else was into this hobby, and we stayed in touch.
Nah, this guy knew that you did that before he gave you that, right? There's no way.
He
He
well,
had to have known.
But yeah, maybe she talked about it in class. But I think it still could have been like, like the apple at the end of a
I'm
class.
immediately suspicious of the way she's framing this because it sounds like, well, he made the first move.
I'm not.
And it's like,
I
bet
don't think
you
I'm
you
as
just talked.
suspicious.
I'm suspicious.
I feel like that move alone. Like I've given nice little things to professors. Not as much as I should. I should give more apples to professors.
Are they apples though?
They're
What are
nice
they?
little things. nice little things.
Is it little? Is it that little?
Nice little things. Yeah. Just little things.
A little appreciation.
A little kiss,
Little
a little kiss on the
appreciation.
cheek.
Later, I invited a few students for a meal, girls and guys, and the boy students were the only ones who RSVP'd yes. Bob did mention an event. I did not invite myself. I said me and my friend Linda were interested and may go too. Later on, Bob invited me to join their group's Airbnb because I was looking at hotels. A previous event trip fell through for mine and Linda's friend group, and I felt bad she couldn't go on a trip in the USA before she had to go back to her home country. This trip was to replace that experience, and Bob invited us to the Airbnb, and Linda and I shared a room with 2 beds. So they had separate beds and everything. What do you think?
I mean, that's fine.
Maria ended up coming on this trip as well, which the group was also okay with, and stayed in the same room with me and Linda. Respectfully, I had 1 cocktail, and then his friend bought everyone a shot. That was the extent of my drinking. I wasn't wasted, Linda wasn't wasted, and no one else in the group ended up being wasted. Maria was, though. Maria underestimated how strong the drinks were, and she was the DD, and we did not have enough time to sober up once she felt the booze hit her. She couldn't drive. I didn't want to drive her dad's car, and Linda doesn't have a U.S. driver's license. Bob offered to drive the car with me, Linda, and Maria back to the Airbnb. The other car was driven back by his friend, who was not wasted and drove sober. At the Airbnb, Bob asked what I would do with the model kit I won. I said I'm not familiar with that type of miniature, so I would sell it on Facebook Marketplace. He said it was actually easy to build. He had built one before, and he could help me build it right then as all their tools for building were still out on the table. I said he didn't have to, but he insisted, and I accepted his help. I was also still not wasted.
And we've already established building the thing is way less sus than not building the whole thing.
I think there was a full model at the end of this encounter.
Yeah, it was like let's appreciate this thing. Oh, you don't think you can do something? I bet you can, because this is cool. And it can be overwhelming to build some of those things. The instructions can be unclear and difficult and tedious.
So far, though, chat is saying she's lying with 7 votes.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't think necessarily she is.
This sounds like exactly what happened, because the boyfriend is like, all right, well, after y'all had a heart-to-heart, all of this comes down to, is the boyfriend to be trusted in this relationship? And everything it is telling me yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I
I
agree.
think if boyfriend picked up the sense that there was some level of infatuation or,
I think as soon as he did, he put that boundary down.
lust coming his way, he'd be like, hey, let's not hang out with her anymore.
Yeah.
That's freaky, right? Why would we want to do that? We want to hang out with the homewrecker who wants to ruin her engagement and also mess with mine. Like, what are we doing?
I agree. But I accepted his help. I was still not wasted. Next to us in the living room, Maria and 2 of the guys were watching Oran High School Host Club and Cowboy Bebop. We all stayed up until 2 a.m. building or watching anime. So it was like everyone was in the room.
Exactly. It's like this is
fine.
This would be so different if it was just the 2 of them.
Yeah, but
that
it
would
was
be
everyone.
unacceptable immediately, because what are you doing?
But for half of the trip, me and the girls split off and did our own thing. We did not stay with the group the entire trip because our intent was to go piggyback a small girls' weekend while also seeing the event. Now, this is back to OP's original post. So basically saying they met up with the professor and got to meet professor's fiance at the anime convention. I trust my boyfriend, but what's happening? So Bob and his group, this is the professor now talking. Bob and his group went to an anime convention. I and my friend group also went because I was not aware there was one near me until Bob mentioned it. My friend group, I thought, got along well with his friends, and it was a great first con experience. I and a few of my friends expressed interest in future events. I think she's hung up on this professor titleship, but I was an instructor who students called professor, but this was very clearly it was a side gig as I had a career. I was never in any position of power at the school. I was a contract employee used to fill an open course section at an undesirable time. For the majority of the time I knew Bob, we were equals who were only 1 year apart in age and shared a similar hobby. I respect that they view my actions unprofessionally. I did not view it at the time since I was no longer an instructor and have not been since. I taught a 4-month course 1 day a week.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like,
I would not be friends with an 18 to 22-year-old I had nothing in common with. And then the original OP, the girlfriend of this guy,
yeah.
talks about having the heart-to-heart and
Yeah,
creating
yeah.
boundaries and stuff. And then OP, now that this professor says, I did not know it had crossed any of their boundaries at the time until the phone call. I treated Bob the same way I treat all of my friends, but I do understand and respect that not everyone has the same view of friendship. My friend group went through a period where we would talk about going to do stuff and then no one does any work to follow through. The event Linda and our friends were going to attend that never happened is a good example. I didn't want lazy friends being the reason why I did not experience things. Bob did follow through on going to things. My husband's concern was that it was a group of guys we had not met yet in person and we were all girls. I told him that if I thought any one of them was giving off weird vibes, we would immediately leave and get a hotel. As for the phone call, he did call to tell me basically the same, and my understanding was that we should talk less because she does not like the closeness. At the time, we were messaging every day, and I did make an attempt to reduce the frequency to once a week. And then OP, the original OP, basically was like, well, but she was still talking to him all the time. And ex-professor says, one thing left out is that during the phone call between Bob and me, I asked Bob if his girlfriend would want to ever talk or get to know me, or if all three of us could hang out. And he asked her, and she said she did not want to do that, and she was uncomfortable at the thought of meeting me.
Ooh.
That feels like new information.
That is new information, but
I'm having trouble knowing who's lying here because either the original poster or the professor. But the professor's doing just dissecting paragraph by paragraph of the play-by-play. You know?
here's what I'm saying. And Kim Fine had a interesting thought where it's like, it seems pretty suspicious that she found this so quickly, especially considering how long it probably would have taken her to write this, right? But regardless, I think let's drop that because it's really irrelevant. The point is that you're being like, oh, well, that's why the dinner was weird because I knew that she had said she thought meeting me would be uncomfortable and weird. But we already got from OP that OP's got anxiety. She doesn't even want to go to the convention because she's got social anxiety.
Yeah.
So as this other person hearing that, and now you're at dinner, and here she is right in front of you with her boyfriend. Do you really think icing her out is the move? Like, that feels like...
Professor didn't ice the girlfriend out, and it was like just like perceived icing because of social anxiety.
That the boyfriend literally had to be like, hey, this is my girlfriend. Like,
I think we might get some context on the girlfriend's side. So,
you know?
Or on the professor's side. So she said she did not want to do that and she was uncomfortable at the thought of meeting me. I did stop messaging him frequently and only did so once a week to ask how his job search was going and to let him know the status of a big event in my life. I thought that was what was requested. Less interaction, not no interaction.
That is true.
And if you're new here, there are multiple parts to the story. So make sure to follow us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, let's get back into the story. So Maria and the ex-professor, went to this dinner because everyone from the Airbnb trip was going to be there. Linda did not go. What is not mentioned is that Bob and the girlfriend arrived 40 minutes into eating. They arrived when I was away from the table. When I saw them after I returned, I nodded and said hi, not specifically at Bob or her. I did not address the hi to either, specifically because, one, girlfriend does not like me, and him talking. And I didn't want to disrespect that by talking to Bob in front of her. And two, she said she did not want to talk to me or get to know me previously. And I thought she still felt that way.
All right, that's arriving 40 minutes late to the dinner, big deal. That's a big deal. And that informs, that's way different if it's everyone's getting to the table and sitting down saying, hey, how are you? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I kind of believe the chat is split 50-50 on whether they believe the professor or not. But I kind of, that makes sense to me.
I believe that. I believe both sides of this in that I believe that the boyfriend has no intentions of hooking up. I believe that the girlfriend was still uncomfortable at this dynamic that he has with another woman she knows nothing about. And I believe that the professor was like, oh, is that the case? Okay, then I'll try not to be weird. And then all of these things have happened that have just compounded OP's own insecurities into this thing that is bigger than it actually was.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Hit me with it.
Oh, I need to fix that. The professor's hot and the girlfriend's jealous.
It could be that simple.
It could be that simple.
You know, I think, and look, we keep calling her professor. She taught one class a week for 4 months. That's 16 times she was in a classroom like for one reason.
For an hour.
And she never did it again. She's not a professor. She's an accountant that was teaching accounting briefly at a school.
Yeah.
And did not establish this connection with this guy.
But I think when the girlfriend heard professor, I think she just pedestalized.
Right, exactly.
her.
Because
And
I
if
was
she's
also
hot-
like, how is she a 25-year-old professor? It's like she's not. She just was someone they were like, can you teach accounting? We are low on staff because that is the reality of higher education.
Yeah. But we got a little bit more to this story. Actually, a good chunk. So I learned Bob and his girlfriend thought I only said hey to Bob, but I didn't direct it to anyone, and I was trying to play it safe. At that point, I knew she had social anxiety and was against meeting with me to get to know me previously, so I thought I was respecting her boundary by not talking to her. Had I known she came to personally meet me, I would have tried to talk to her. After learning why she came, I was surprised she did not try to start a conversation with me or Maria. As for the booze, except for them, since they arrived late, everyone had 2 to 3 drinks already because it was happy hour. Maria and I made friends with the bartender who gave us discounted cocktails. I ended up buying a drink for girlfriend so she should get the discount and then pay me back. It is true I said those jokes, but I was not the one to bring them up. They were said in jest. These were jokes already made in previous interactions. Later that week, Maria called me to catch up and mentioned the dinner. She commented that girlfriend made no effort to get to know us and thought girlfriend went to monitor him and me. In essence, she ignored me and Maria and I ignored her. I did not go to the show because I had a prior commitment. And then related to the comments of oh, she's crossing major boundaries, this professor, and she wants to have spicy sleep, the professor responds, as mentioned in her post, I did view Bob as a brother.
Now, that's also a little funny to me because how can you go from oh, he was just a student in my class and I didn't really have a crazy bond with him and he gave me that gift at the end and I went, oh, maybe he is cool. Now he's at brother status?
I think you could become, think about fraternity brothers. One Hayes, and you're my brother.
I don't know, man. I never did that. I was never in it.
I think,
and honestly, I think maybe that's being thrown around a little callously.
I'm still tight with my fraternity brothers in my entrepreneurship fraternity.
Yeah, but
Isham was my
right.
That's
a brother. That's a brother.
That's a brother. But he was my brother day one.
4 months,
he was
once
my brother
week.
day one, though.
That's day one.
Day one brother.
But this isn't. They weren't in a frat, guys. This is not. That's
the
not what happened
here.
here.
Of anime cons.
I think maybe they did say something that she was
But
sharing a big life thing. Maybe they had one cornerstone conversation that went, oh, we are actually cool. We're cool with each other. We're friends. But this is a cool thing.
I do agree with you. I think it is a little bit fast to get to brother, but I do think those things can happen quickly. Let us know if brother is a red flag.
Slightly Tope says, Sam, that's trauma bonding.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the best kind of bonding, right? He lived similar experiences to me, but I felt like he was where I would have been had I not moved out from my parents when I did. Yeah, your boyfriend is where I would have been if I totally effed up.
Yeah, if I hadn't grown and changed and become a better person, he'd be who I was.
I wanted to see him professionally thrive and accomplish his goals of getting a car and moving out, as those were things I strived for and had already attained. As for the 5 to 6 times we met up, it was in group settings, and he met all my friends and my husband as well. This post to me makes it seem like I was always hanging on to Bob, but there were many instances of me and my friends breaking off to do our own thing. My husband and Linda's husband were both okay with us going to the Airbnb at the time, and later on met and got to know Bob too. Each time we met, if I drank, I had 2 drinks, and one time I had 3. I am not sure how Bob told these events to his girlfriend, so it may just be lost in translation. But the only person who ever got wasted at a meetup was Maria, and it was once. I do not agree with her stating that I was constantly wasted for each meetup or always asking / inviting myself to things. He invited me and Linda to join his Airbnb group. I asked if Maria could also join. I did ask to join his group for another event until my friend group arrived, which included my husband, Linda, and Maria. And his friend invited me to the group dinner. Maria attended. By the way, if you want to attend full episodes just like this, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts, to listen to full stories. Search OK Storytime. Get this thing in your ears. Right now.
Yeah, this is one of the more gray area stories I think we've read.
There's another relevant update. We got a little bit more, but I feel like ex-professor to me didn't cross as many boundaries as I initially thought, and I feel like it might be more or less okay. But
yeah, I think so too.
But well, no, I feel like you could play the other side a little bit.
But it's the thing is once your partner comes to you and goes, hey, this is making me uncomfortable.
That's when you change.
That's when you change it, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So everything that's happened so far in the story, I think, is totally above board.
Yeah.
There was a comment that was just up there. Otila Angel says, it sounds like a territorial thing between females. It happens all the time. OP felt like she was being disrespected, and the professor felt like she had some kind of instant connection and wanted to deepen that connection without considering OP.
Yeah.
I mean, and
but
again,
that
it's
connection
like,
could just be
you're
friendship. Like the connection isn't necessarily romantic.
two people of the opposite sex who are deeply like committed to another relationship, like can like they're you can't be friends.
Yeah.
They were not going to the Airbnb thing alone. I think there's like, there's clearly miscues or miscommunications about like who said what or who offered what. But I think at the end of the day, this is more of an issue on like respecting our partner's feelings.
Yeah.
Which we did.
Yeah.
Because there was that effort made. And I think it could also be a case of...
What do you think about the focus on the waste, like the wastedness?
I think it's a case of if you look for something, you might see it. If you're looking for like, oh, well, she was like, you're looking for reasons why maybe this could be wrong or bad or inappropriate. It's like, yeah, she was drinking. She was too drunk. Like, but, and that's,
And she's like saying, no, I had 2 to 3 drinks.
And it's neither here nor there, really.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you weren't there.
Yeah.
OP wasn't there. So it's from a, third-hand, second-hand knowledge. I think.
But what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a decent amount of platonicness.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be platonic, but I also do see in the chat like people being like, maybe she was still trying to make moves. But the more I read this, the more I'm like, I don't know. What do you think, Riley?
I think it's platonic on her end.
Oh, you're switching. So you think it's platonic on her end, but not platonic on his?
Yeah.
There is a conspiracy cooking that Bob might be playing the two ladies against each other, but
probably because who is the middleman here?
He's the middleman. He's the man in the middle. He's the meat in the middle.
I just think...
I don't know. I don't like it. Because the girlfriend may be giving him 80%, but the professor's giving that 20% of those cool anime expos and go to all those cool events he has always wanted to go to. He's kind of window shopping a little bit.
She might have also been more drunk than she thought she was.
Oh, yeah. What, like 2 to 3 drinks looks a lot different on like me versus, like than Sophia or like, like a 5-foot flat lady.
Which, there was also another comment. I can't remember who made it about how I consider Sophia's sister and how it's like, I can't have it both ways. This is different. Me and Sophia worked together 5 days a week for 10 months. Like, we're close. Yeah. This was like a
exactly
acquaintanceship between the two of them that I guess at some point it was like she imprinted her own stuff onto this guy being like, oh, we had similar situations. I kind of almost kind of felt like she was talking like a baby bird, like I brought him under my wing.
Yeah.
Like kind of stuff.
Well, but I think that's what she thinks of him as a little brother.
Yeah.
I think that's what she thinks of him as. Ming Ming wants us to talk about how OP absolutely is just throwing Maria under the bus.
That is true.
It's pretty funny. It's like I wasn't completely hammered, but Maria, whoo!
Yeah. Maria got after it.
Yeah. What's the song? How do you solve a problem with Maria?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know that song?
Nope. 0%.
What? No one knows that song?
Nope.
Come on.
Who knows that song?
Throw under a bus. That's what you do with Maria. But we got more to this story. There was Anissa Julia had a comment that I wanted to read really quick. Anissa Julia says, Sam, a month ago you called out my relationship saying that it was other problems with us, and now he's my ex. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm glad you dropped some dead weight.
Doing work.
Doing the work.
The man of the people.
Man of the people.
The people's champ.
I appreciate. You know what? This is a new chapter for you. So get excited.
Congratulations.
To this day, his girlfriend has never said a word to me or Maria. She did not say hi, only waved to us, nor us to her. When I offered to order and bring her a cocktail from the bar, I believe Bob was the only one who responded to my offer. I haven't found out about what she was thinking via this Best of Redditor Updates post. Linda, Maria, and I haven't talked to Bob since. This was a cathartic write with Maria, as it is very jarring to randomly find a post about yourself and then also have someone find you from that post. And we got some relevant comments. Commenter says, there are always 2 sides to these stories, the jealous significant other and the other person. And OP responds, I think it was just bad communication, but it seems that I was expected to somehow know she came to the final dinner to get to know me, but all I knew was that 1, she rejected getting to know me in the past, citing she was uncomfortable, and 2, she did not try to talk to me or my friend at the dinner for the entire 3 hours we were all present together. And another commenter says, personally, I drop all communication with him and forget both of them even exist. Not worth the trouble they bring to your life. And OP responds, that is what ended up happening. Bob was angry that I ignored his girlfriend at the dinner, but I thought it was an unspoken agreement to mutually ignore each other to avoid any awkwardness.
Dude, no way you believe that. I'm sorry. No one has ever believed that ignoring someone sitting right in front of you like they don't exist is less awkward than making polite conversation.
I completely agree.
I'm calling you out for that. That's crazy.
Completely agree. I do completely agree.
You should have just been kind and
polite.
polite.
I feel it is always more awkward to ignore a person.
Yeah.
Always.
Come on.
Even
and
if
that's
you believe that's what they want.
Now I'm like, you're playing the game. You're like, fine, if she wants to just like not talk to me, or if she's uncomfortable with me talking to them, then I guess I won't.
That is such a good point. Even but she could have thought that's what she wanted.
But come on, you're a human being.
Yeah.
You're a human.
Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you agree or disagree.
I mean, I guess if you're on a spectrum of some kind, you can be, if there's a lack of social cues, because that's like,
she did have social anxiety. But let us know what you think. So a commenter says, for me, it was Bob agreeing that you were being inappropriate to the point that he called you and directly asked you to limit your contact with him. You then rudely don't say hi to either of them at a dinner when everyone else does until you decide to tease Bob about the period you were his teacher. I'm not shocked the girlfriend and Bob were so uncomfortable with this interaction. OP responds, sure, that is fair assessment. I said hi to both of them in their direction because I did not want to address either one individually just in case it made them uncomfortable. I left the table to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, they were there. Hindsight is 2020, and I can say that I should have talked to them since it is now clear she attended the dinner to meet me. I had thought not talking to them after Bob asked me to limit contact with him and not talking to his girlfriend was respecting their boundary. I'm going to update my post, though, to note that I did not initiate those jokes. I feel like going back to what Dakota said, like I remember just slight okay story time where there's a little bit more to the story, but slight okay story time. One of my roommates said, I got to go to Puerto Rico, and then just left for a month and left us with this random roommate like that he found on Facebook Marketplace like within 3 days. She came in and was the weirdest person ever, said she was allergic to the sun and only went out at night.
A vampire.
She literally a vampire. This was like a couple days in a row. She would, Christian and I were sleeping in the same room because we used to share a room together. And she would stand in the doorway and go, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, until we woke up and we're like, what is it? And she's like, I'm home. And then would like giggle and run off back to her room. And there was like a whole host of other things. But basically after she did that a couple times, I was like, hey, like you really like you can't like creepily yell our names in the middle of the night. Like we need some space, right? Like I feel like I need some space.
I'm glad you survived.
What she did after that is anytime I entered the kitchen with her or any room, she would drop everything on the floor and go put her face in a corner. And I feel like this is a little bit what the professor is doing. Kind of. It's like, oh, you want to get space? Let me go like in the corner.
Real quick, is there anything? What are the other little things she would do?
Oh, dude, there was so much. She said she got abducted by a cult and like Christian had to save her. Like she gave us like a bunch of cookies like months after. It was like
you did not eat those, right?
We did not eat those cookies. She knocked on the door and started banging on the door and she's like, I brought you cookies. Like it was like, I just think she was very, socially. Aww. Also, she got a record player and got the Looney Tunes version of when you're a West Side Story, put it on blast. And like, this was the day after I said I need some space and was aggressively cooking eggs to the point where the eggs were splattering all over and was banging the pots like put it down. And I'm like, hey, like, is everything okay? And that's when she went into the corner it was nuts.
You just had a deeply disturbed random roommate.
Yeah. And she was like 35 too, to add more context.
What?
Yeah. And I think she fell in love with Christian.
That was the wildest thing you could have ever added to that she's 35.
She's 35 and she fell in love with Christian.
I mean, who doesn't?
Literally texted him.
I fall in love with Christian every day.
Christian has had this happen so many times.
It's gotten worse.
I am off topic. I need to go back to the
No,
story.
no, this is beautiful. We'll
I
get
mean,
into the story in a little bit.
I would say that the professor is giving like 2% of that energy. But it's there.
It's there.
It's there, undeniably.
there.
It's lurking
It's
beneath.
a little there. But I'm going to update my post, though, to note that I did not initiate those jokes. A guy at the table mentioned it first, and I confirmed/ribbed his bit. Commenter, may I ask your age and how long you've been married? Do you think the drinks emboldened you to engage the other person's ribbing of Bob after you blatantly ignored him? Or was it your turn to talk to Bob after he asked you to chill? Opie says, not sure why you are downvoted, but we were 26 at the time and I was engaged then. I refer to my husband as such because it seemed natural. Like I explained in a separate comment, Bob and his girlfriend did not talk to me or Maria, and we did not talk to them either. His girlfriend stayed by his side the entire time, and I wasn't about to walk up to both of them and try to have a friendly conversation after knowing they were both uncomfortable with me. I thought it was a mutual, unspoken ignoring of each other. They seemed to have a good time, and me and Maria had a good time. I didn't know that they were offended. I didn't talk to them until after I found the original Reddit post. As for engaging in the ribbing, that was the vibe in the entire night. Just a good time with friends, sometimes poking fun at each other, but not seriously. Even at that point, I still did not directly talk to Bob. I just acknowledged the joke, gestured towards Bob as I was speaking, and confirmed the joke a different person at the table made. And that was it. And that is where this story ends.
I think there's no universe in which if she did have a little crush on Bob, she's going to go, I mean, yeah, I had a little crush on Bob, but I wasn't going to be weird about it.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense that she goes, hey, look, everything is above board, blah, 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 blah. But barring some sort of like, you know, is some kind of, because people on the spectrum, it's like if you have ADD or it's like you have autism, it's like sometimes you can like lose, you're not really aware of like your social cues or like proper social like procedure. So it could make sense like if someone tells you, oh, like if you find out, oh, this person doesn't want to know me or get to know me or talk to me at all, maybe you would kind of hyper zoom in on that and be like, well, then now I'm going to actually ignore them even though they're sitting across the table from me. And like it could be coming from a misguided place. I'm more suspicious that it's coming from that 2% milk version of your crazy, insane roommate from Facebook.
Yeah, I feel it's giving a little bit of that energy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like it seems like everything was above board. It seems like it was just a miscommunication. I don't think there was any spicy sleep. But I would love to know from you guys what you think. Is this relationship above board? Is it not? How do you think it spiraled? Let us know in the comments. But with that, that's the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And see you tomorrow.